Good morning. We're in Psalm 112. If you were with us on Wednesday, we studied Psalm 111, and we talked about this concept of the fear of the Lord as the beginning of wisdom, entering into this relationship of God as we see ourselves in the light of God and His goodness and gracious and magnificence, right? And we come under His authority. We're led into this life of human flourishing, wisdom. Here now, the psalmist actually explores this further. He says, "Praise the Lord. Blessed are those who fear the Lord, who find great delight in His commands. Their children will be mighty in the land. The generation of the upright will be blessed. Wealth and riches are in their houses, and in their righteousness endures forever. Even in darkness light dawns for the upright, for those who are gracious and compassionate and righteous. Good will come to those who are generous and lend freely, who conduct their affairs with justice. Surely the righteous will never be shaken. They will be remembered forever. They will have no fear of bad news. Their hearts are steadfast, trusting in the Lord. Their hearts are secure. They will have no fear. In the end, they will look in triumph on their foes. They have freely scattered their gifts to the poor. Their righteousness endures forever. Their horn will be lifted high in honor. The wicked will see and be vexed. They will gnash their teeth and waste away, for longing of the wicked will come to nothing." It really is quite a beautiful psalm. Don't connect this with somehow, I fear God and become rich. Think of it instead as I submit myself to God, as I study His Word, His ways, His statutes, His truth, I enter into this life, this path, this way of living. I call it God's economy. As I enter into God's economy, I learn the right sorts of ways to produce the right sorts of results, the ways that God Himself blesses. And so I was trying to explain this with tithing with my children. And they said, do you mean that if you tithe, God, pays you back or gives you more, blesses you because you're tithing? And I said, no, it's more something like, when I recognize that God is the one who gives me all things, including my paycheck, including my job, I receive it gratefully and I thankfully give back to Him. I am now participating in something that God is doing. I am simply kind of in the chain of God's economy. Now, as God continues to bless and I continue to give, right, I'm interacting with the reality of God and His ways and His purposes. So this whole psalm is talking about what happens when you enter in God's ways. What's the effect? What are the byproducts? What kinds of things will you experience? It talks about us not being shaken. We have no fear of bad news. We are grounded. Our hearts are secure. We don't have to live in fear. We are attached to something bigger than ourselves. We're able to be generous. Why? Because God's our provision. We can give. We can give because we know that God supplies all of our needs. Even extending to our families, there's these rich promises. So I guess my encouragement in Psalm 112 is to say, freely enter into God's ways, His paths, His economy, because it is ultimate reality. It is the most secure place. It is a place where bad news can't hit you, and fear does not have to be a part of your life. Scarcity is not a thing in God's economy. We live in the rich and abundant realm of God's goodness, grace, and provision. Grace and peace to you.